Hello everyone. Today I wanted to go over the menu systems and the features that are available on the Manticore and the Deus 2. I know there's a bunch of people out there that would like to see the differences between the menus and how easy they are to navigate. I will say that the Manticore menu is a little more intuitive and easy to use. It seems more logical the way it's laid out, whereas the Deus 2 might not seem as logical the way it's laid out, but if you learn either one of them, they're both pretty easy to navigate, and you get used to it over time. So let's get started on that. Before I do that, I did want to remind you to enter the drawing for the Vanquish metal detector. And so I'll put, at the end screen, I'll put the video link to that where you can go back and you can watch that video and enter to win. So there is a deadline on that. Make sure you pay attention to that and get your entries in. And so let's get started on we'll review the menus between the two systems.
Quick look at the main screen on the Manticore. Just wanted to point out where a few things are. So right here you get sensitivity. This tells you what frequency you're running. Down here you can turn your audio or your horseshoe on or off. Let's see what. And then over here you've got your battery level, and then you've got your depth gauge with bars 1 to 5, and then you're going to have your display that'll show up there in the middle. And this shows your discrimination pattern or your Ferris limit. So right now I've got a combination of things set up right here under whatever program I'm under, so that anything that's in white is what's accepted at this point. On the Deus 2, what you've got on the main menu is some things that are flashing: battery level for your remote, battery level for your coil. It tells you this is your ground level meter, which would tell you what the mineralization amount is in the ground. And then you've got ground balance information over here, your target ID here. On the sides, what we call the upside down horseshoe, or just the horseshoe I guess you'd say, is you've got ferrous on one side, non-ferrous on the other. Depending on the signal strength, like depth or whatever, this bar would fill up. So if just the corner of it down here is filled up, it's a fairly deep target. If the whole thing's filled up, then it's a fairly shallow target or a big target. So depending on which side it goes on, it's going to tell you whether it's ferrous or non-ferrous. Okay, so what we're going to start with on the menu is sensitivity. So on the Manticore, it's accessed from the main screen. To change that, you'll just press the side arrows up or down to change the sensitivity. On the Deus 2, what you'll do is from the main menu, you'll go in, you'll page down to sensitivity, and you can use the plus or minus keys to change sensitivity on the Deus 2. Next thing on the next thing on the Manticore under the menu is search mode. So search modes that are available on, let's go back to the very first one. Different search modes you have are all-terrain general, all-terrain fast, all-terrain low conductor, all-terrain high conductor, all-terrain trash reject, beach general, beach low conductors, beach deep, beach surf and seawater, and goldfield. And let me get back to something that's not noisy. There we go. So if you want to see what these search modes do, it's best to get in the manual. If I were to go through each one of them on both the Deus and the Manticore, the video is going to be way too long. On the Deus 2, what you've got for search modes, and the way you access those is from the main screen. You're just going to use the plus or minus keys to get to the different programs. So let's go to the first one. Search mode number 1 is general, number 2 is sensitive, 3 is sensitive full tones, 4 is fast, 5 is park, 6 is deep high conductor, 7 is Deus Mono, 8 is Goldfield, 9 is Relic, 10 is Diving, 11 is Beach, and 12 is Beach Sensitive. And then some of the Deus 2s came with additional programs that were preloaded. You can write over those if you want. And they are Beach P and Fast 40. And then you've got additional slots where you can load your own custom programs. And so, for instance, I've got one for Ghost Towns, I've got one for Digging in Virginia, and I've got one for the Great Salt Lake where I hunt. And so on the Manticore, the next thing on the menu is noise cancel. So 2 ways of noise canceling on the Manticore. You can either do a short, just a press, and it'll find the quietest channel it can right off, or you can do what they call a long press, and you'll want to hold that down until it rests on a number. Looks like it likes channel 2, so I'll let it up, and there's your noise cancel. On the Deus 2, there are 2 ways to do a noise cancel. There's the shortcut where you can just push, it's the ground balance key, just hold it down. It'll go into noise cancel and you'll let it run through that. Or the other way you can access it is through the menu. And you can go down to frequency shift where you could manually adjust the sensitivity or the frequency. Or you can do a scan. Okay, next thing you got on the Manticore menu is ground balance, and there are a few ways that you can do a ground balance. You can do either so you can do tracking, which if you push this button it'll tell you tracking on or off. I'm going to run it off. You can manually move the ground balance numbers. You just pump it up and down when it goes quiet. Based on one of those, you can manually adjust it until it's not sounding off on the ground, or you can do an automatic ground balance, and that's where you would hold down this button here and you'll pump the coil. And I'm not pumping the coil, so it's just gone to 0 because it's sitting there, but those are the three ways you can do a ground balance on the Manticore. For the Deus 2, quick shortcut key to do ground balance is hold down the pinpoint button and you can pump the coil, or you can go into the push the ground balance key. You can do a grab. You can put tracking on or off just by doing the plus or minus keys. Another feature, I believe this is just for the beach, I could be wrong. It says ground balance beach. You can turn magnetic, like magnetic sand, magnetic soil. You can accept it or reject it by doing the plus or minus key. And then you can manually ground balance the machine as well.
Okay, just wanted to confirm a couple things on ground balance. You have to be in black sand to be able to use the magnetic reject, and then there is another option if you go into another program that's not a beach program. Let's just go down to deep high conductor. If you go into ground balance, you've got an option there where you can select a ground stabilization number. So it's 1 through 3. That might help you on difficult grounds to make an adjustment there for ground balance.
Okay, next thing on the menu for the Manticore is recovery speed. So recovery speed on the Manticore is all the way from 0 to, oops, wrong button, to 8. I like to run mine on about 3. Recovery speed on the Deus 2 is accessed through the menu. You would go down to reactivity, and reactivity can be pushed up or down on the Deus anywhere from 0 to 5, and some of these have half numbers, like you can go 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and then from there it jumps a full number. Okay, next thing on the Manticore is discrimination pattern. And so there are two options there. You've got all metal or custom. And if you want to go into custom, you hit the pencil key. Top number is ID range. You would change that with your side arrow keys. So what that means is the number of IDs you're going to take out. Actually, the bottom one is the width. So If you do your up and down arrow keys, you can select a different whip that goes 1, 3, 5, 10, and 20. And let's just take, for instance, 10. And then your side arrow keys, you can move that over to where you want to block out a certain range of IDs. And then you're going to hit this button right here to gray that out. And then if you notice, when you move over, that section's grayed out, and you can do that multiple times across the screen, many times as you want. All right, to do a similar discrimination pattern type thing on the Deus, what you'd need to do is go into disk, go to expert. You're going to go down to notch. You can turn that on or off. So you can turn it on. Then you can go to expert, and there's 3 different areas there that you can notch numbers out on, but you can only do that 3 times, whereas the Manticore, you can do it a lot more. So you would just select the range in section 1, go down and select the range in 2, select the range in 3. You'd want to get on the user manual or watch another video that concentrates on just that, because I don't have time to explain all that in this video, otherwise it's going to be too long. So take a look at that. Okay, next thing on the Manticore is Ferris limits. So Ferris limits, there's preset, or there's a bunch of custom slots that you can, there's like 4 custom slots you can do to put custom Ferris limits in. But if you want to change those, we'll just go on the preset. You would hit the pencil icon. From there you can adjust your upper or lower limits by selecting the keys. So I'm on the upper right now. I could change that up or down. There's 9, 10. I'll go back to 8. If I wanted to do the lower limits, I would push the down arrow key, and then same thing. I can go up or down using the side arrow keys to adjust that, and that would adjust your Ferris limits, and then you just back out. So on the Deus 2, something that would be similar to Ferris limits is just going to be where you can go and adjust your bottle caps and your bottle cap reject and your silencer settings. So to access that, you're going to go down to, let me back up here. You're in disk, you're going to go to expert. If you're in 3 tones right now, if you go down one more, you can see bottle cap reject. You can run that number from 0 to 5. That will be more aggressive on bottle caps. And then the other thing you can do is silencer. You can run that up anywhere from 0 to 5, well, actually 6. And that will calm down, like iron faulting, also helps take care of flat tin. Okay, the next thing we've got on the Manticore is Ferris tones. So in Ferris tones, you can go in and adjust both the volume and the tone. So if you wanted to adjust volume, you would hit the pencil key, and you can run that up or down to make the iron audio softer or louder or softer. And then the other thing you can do is adjust the pitch, so you can go in and do the same thing, adjust the pitch. On the Deus 2, if you want to access the Ferris tones or how loud iron shows up on the Deus 2, what you're going to do is you're going to go into the menu, you're going to go down to iron volume, and there you can adjust that anywhere from 0, which is off, all the way up to 5, which is the loudest. I like to leave mine at 3.